Don't become its casualties in a business sense, as the reality is that not all businesses are going to survive. So it's time to take stock of the new normal environment we face. Okay, could I have the next slide, please? Firstly, please see the various forms of government grants that are now shown on the screen. As these have already been well publicised, I will just touch on a few points, mostly concerning the recent changes. So essentially there are four forms of aid there. Grants for business owners with their own premises. And the grant is $25,000 for people in retail hospitality, or £10,000 for other businesses. Also, there's furloughing of employees under the job retention scheme. And as I think it's well known by now, directors can claim if they are not working. However, they're only allowed to do fiduciary duties, and that doesn't include things like sending out invoices, for example. The initial scheme was to run until the end of July, but that's now extended to the end of October, although the government is looking for employers to make a contribution. Also, employment law and employee rights still apply to furloughed staff. Right, thirdly, self-employed income grant of 80% of profits based on the 2018-19 tax year, or an average of the last 3 years. So what we're talking about here is a single payment to cover 3 months. The taxpayer makes the claim, not their accountant, although of course accountants can help, and it will be taxable in the 2021 year. Also, it's possible to defer VAT and self-assessment payments, and in particular, the self-assessment payments should normally due at the end of July and now deferred until 31st of January 2021. Also, VAT payments can be deferred until next March 21. If you have any inquiries about these, I will answer these questions after the session. Okay, you will need to fully avail yourself of these grants while they are now available. As is always the case in times of crisis, cash is king. And now that you have that money that you need to go ahead, you need to spend it very wisely and sparingly. In particular, preparation is needed now for both the expected spring in business activity, once the lockdown is over, as well as make sure that you can weather the storm when large numbers of businesses are expected to fail. In particular, I would recommend keeping a reserve fund on a deposit account. Make sure that your customers can get to you and that they can pay you, most importantly. Look at both your business and your personal expenditure to see if you can cut back on anything. And not cutting back on your marketing budget, but look instead to spend it wisely so that you'll be ready when the lockdown ends. Obviously, Angie and Brett can help on this. Get your accounting up to date while you have the opportunity to do so, as you will need those figures. Make best use of your networks using Zoom and see if you can find other networks to join, including those used by other BNI members. Improve your profile on social media by updating your LinkedIn profile and committing more time to blogs, Facebook, Instagram, and so on, such as relevant to your trade. Improve the number of online inquiries by giving attention to your SEO on your website. Whilst you have time on your hands, improve your website, and if you can, record video content and put it on your website. People's stories tend to be the best. Keep your costs under control and review them further as necessary. Consider using a business coach, such as Will, to make these preparations. And spread the word locally about your business using local magazines or leafleting. And last but not least, seek the help and support of your accountant. Next slide. If you need further funds, consider applying for one of the government-backed loans. either the business interruption loan or the business bounce back loan, which are available now with very advantageous terms, requiring no interest or capital payments in the near future. The former requires the business case to be made to the bank, but the latter is a very easy form to complete online. But remember, these are loans, not grants, and so you will need to budget for their repayment. Next slide, please. If you're used to flying by the seat of your pants in business, now would be a good time to prepare a business plan to look in detail at the next 12 months ahead, meaning that you should involve others around you in that business plan to get the best result, reassess your target market and your marketing message to them, and are they local? Chase outstanding debtors and agree time to pay arrangements with creditors. Do a projection of your income and expenditure, both business and personal, over the next 12 months. Connected to this, do a projected cash flow forecast. This will help identify where adjustments are needed and get you thinking in advance about the upcoming challenges, as well as how much extra money is needed and when. You cannot make clear decisions about the future without these figures. Look at your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities and threats, and brainstorm with some people around you to make the best of what you have at your disposal. The old saying is, businesses do not plan to fail, they simply fail to plan. And that may well come home to roost over the next 12 months for those who have not got a plan in place. To help with the latter, or actually any of the above, could I suggest contacting your accountant, who should be able to help. But if they are unable to do so, or are just not available at this critical time, could I suggest that a change to one that is set up to find a way through the challenges of the year ahead? In fact, could I suggest that you or somebody you know who could be vulnerable in these uncertain times makes arrangements to see me and my colleagues for a free of charge first consultation to see how we can help? Okay, that's it. Thank you very much. I wonder if there are any questions.
Thank you very much. Yeah, any questions for Alan? That was very, very insightful.